Hello there, guys. Just a quick one because it's the boys' bedtime. But I have a theory, and I want to see if this theory can be put out there, and whether or not there is somebody out there that may actually be able to look into what I'm talking about. I've had housing around today for a managed move, and something has come to my attention today. And I've been trying for quite a while now to get somebody in my life to see something, and not quite understanding why they switched the words around that I say that aren't actually there. And all of a sudden I realised it's because they're dyslexic. And all of a sudden I went, hang on a minute. I wonder how many social workers, support workers, in fact, Tina might find this interesting, what I'm about to say. How many people are working for the system that is meant to be there to enable and support those that fall below the threshold to help them back up? That's what is meant to be there. But I'm thinking, is there any chance that this is going so wrong because when they go for their interview and for their jobs, they are not disclosing that they are dyslexic, dyspraxic, borderline personality, all of these things that could potentially hinder their job. Now, why would they not disclose it? They wouldn't disclose it, and autism, Asperger's, all of these labels, all of these things. And one of the reasons that a social worker would go into the system to help is because they would have been failed with SEN and all of these things themselves, so they would want to go in to make a difference. The challenge is, if you don't disclose conditions in an employment situation, the chances of you being employed if you do disclose, then chances of you being employed are lower. I got a video the other day. It's an amazing video of a Chinese lad who was diagnosed with autism, and all he wants to be is a doctor. And they went to the panel to refuse him because he was autistic. Now, they managed to bypass it because eventually what they actually said is that when he's a doctor, he's a doctor. When he's not a doctor, he has autism. Because autism is when you're out of your gifting zone. So I'm wondering how many people that go into employment with the system are not disclosing that they are either dyslexic, dyspraxic, even struggling with depression, any of these things, because what's happening is words get taken out of content. So say if someone says something, and prime example with dyslexic, it's normal to then misinterpret the content of that thing. That's why it's labelled dyslexia, how they read words, things like that. So if you've got a social worker that's interviewing a parent that's got dyslexia, straight away she's taken that parent out of content. Straight away she's struggling with writing forms. Now, if she had disclosed it, then those reasonable adjustments would have been understood and she would do things in a different way. So when she attended a client, she would be able to record the meeting, and then her notes would be handed over to somebody else to write based on that conversation, and that's fine. But what if they don't disclose? And their struggles are affecting families because they are hiding their own inequalities or challenges or difference or difficulties, and that's now hindering the families because, one, bless the social worker, didn't have any more than 15 cases max, they have about 40. Same with housing, they shouldn't be dealing with any more than 4 or 5 people. We know even in business, teachers can only deal with so many people in a class, and it doesn't necessarily work that way. So that's the question that I want to sort of put out there. If we're basically supporting people through the education system with per se differences, labels or whatever, and then shoving them into the working world where people are having to, even my own son does not disclose that he has EDS because he knows, so he struggles, and you know, he should be able to be around people, just let him do things his own way. What are you wanting? That's tea bags. Have you pooed? So anyway, I'm going to go and deal with the kids. I just want to leave you with that thought. Are social workers failing to disclose that they're dyslexic, hence why the reports are being taken out of content? See you later. I'm coming.